My top tackle in this class is Armand Membou from Missouri. Though he doesn't have prototypical length, he has special movement skills, and most of the tackles from this class don't have that ideal length. Will Campbell's a guy that might project as guard, and Kelvin Banks, the other top tackle in this class from Texas, he projects as a guard as well. They all lack length. They're all in the same kind of area and percentile, but I think what really separates Membu is his movement skills. They're really special, and he's really advanced technically wise. Here you could see him against Alabama. The defensive end tries to go inside, so he just washes him inside, easily adjusts to the inside move. So when you lack length, you need something to make up for it. And I think his movement skills and his reactions more than make up for that lack of length. And what I love to see from him is he just wants to bury guys. This is Landon Jackson, who's going to be a second, third round pick, and he buries him. And yeah, you could say that's in the snow, but it's all over his film of him finishing on top of defenders. Here he's going to take a 45-degree set, doesn't overset, and as the defensive end goes inside, he easily, smoothly reacts. And then when he feels that defensive end tries to go downfield, he knows his quarterback is stepping up, and he just buries him. Here we have outside zone against Oklahoma, runs the defender past the hole, plays past the whistle, gets his fellow offensive lineman pumped up. Here we have inside zone. All he needs to do is kick out the end, but he plays past the whistle. Defensive end wants to strain, so he finishes on top of him, gets up, and talks shit. Gotta love to see that from your offensive lineman. Again, we have outside zone. Linebackers walked up to the line of scrimmage. Membu reaches him, creates a lane for his running back, and tosses that linebacker on top of his fellow defender. Another play where his assignment ends up on the ground. On this play, defensive end drops out, so he helps on a defensive tackle that's running through the B gap. You can see the explosion and reaction as that defensive tackle tries to go inside. He just explodes into his chest and tosses him on the ground and lands on top of him. And what you love to see from Membu is his processing ability. He rarely gets fooled by the defense. Here you're going to have a ET stunt. End's going to go inside, and the defensive tackle's going to loop. He takes a vertical set, flattens the defensive end, then gets out to that looper and easily shuts down that stunt. Let's get into what Membu needs to work on. He has a tendency to lean sometimes, which could throw him off balance, especially when he gets his outside arm taken away. Here you can see the defensive end swipes down his outside arm. That leads to him just leaning on the defender. But part of being a great lineman is being able to get out of compromising positions. And you can see the athletic ability and kind of second reaction skill, being able to get on top of this defensive end and still flatten him despite being in a bad position. But recovering against NFL defenders, it's going to be tougher. He wants to get rid of this habit of leaning. He doesn't need to. Here again, he's going to get his outside arm taken away, and he's going to lean. He's going to hold, but he still gives up a pressure and a sack. And there are examples of him mixing up his hands technique, so certainly within his capabilities to do so. Here he's going to throw his outside hand, bring it back, and then use the inside hand to control the rusher, and then use two hands. So this is pretty advanced for a college tackle, and I think he'll be able to switch up his outside hands and play with his technique there and get better because he can't give up that outside hand so easily in the NFL. Another thing is you want to see him get a little bit more powerful in his lower body because he is susceptible to the bull rush. This is Shamar Stewart, one of the best edge rushers in this year's class. And you can say what you want about Shamar Stewart's ability to find a ball. He has trouble finishing for sacks and tackles, but you can't argue against his sheer power and his ability to turn speed into power. On this rep, he's going against him on outside zone. You can just see him get into his chest, push him out of the way, and make a tackle in the backfield. Here you're going to have a one-on-one pass rush rep where same thing, he's going to get into his chest. He tries to lean, but Stewart's just too powerful, and he gets a pressure and forces the quarterback out of the pocket. Next rep, same issue. He tries to get on a little quicker, but Stewart's able to get him on his back legs and push him back for pressure, but he doesn't get the sack, forces the quarterback out of the pocket. Next rep, he adjusts. You can see him actually throw a punch and slow Stewart down a little bit, and he gets his cleats on the ground, and he's able to control him on the bull rush. So he could struggle against power rushers in his rookie year, but again, this is a physical player that likes to bury people. So the mentality is there. I just think eventually he will get better at anchoring, and I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem. Here's one of his last pass sets against Stewart. Stewart is going to bait him into firing off his outside hand. He misses. Again, he leans, but you could see that recovery ability. Again, being a great offensive lineman is about being able to get out of those compromising positions. And he misses with his outside hand and he leans, but you can just see how quick his feet are. He's able to stay in front of Stewart and land on top of him. If Stewart was able to get outside of his body, a hold might have been called, but because he stays in front, there's no extension and he falls on top of him. Again, there's things he has to work on, but there's just so many tools that he has that you can't teach. And he has a mean streak. I think he could be a really special right tackle and maybe move to left tackle eventually.